Is Earth not enough? Escape to a planet far, far away today with Chatter Squadron.
You sound good.
I mean, I sound good. You sound pretty good too.
I mean, I sound good. I think we all sound good. Today on Chatter Squadron. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of our show. If you're listening, that means that you pressed the button that made you listen to us. I'm sat across from Mike Calhoun and Johnny Trowbridge, as always.
Hi.
As always.
You know, it is a big feat to pull out your phone, open it, number one, go to whatever podcast app.
And find the biggest feet you can find.
Yeah, it is a huge feat to find a feet in your phone.
I love feet. Moving on.
I love feet. I feel like that was the start of like a viral video of like some local mayor losing his campaign of accidentally saying that.
What was that one mayor?
My
Let's not talk about
campaign speech was hacked.
There was a teleprompter. Sir, there was no teleprompter. There,
Fake news.
yeah, fake news. There was a teleprompter.
I had note cards hacked.
My note cards were hacked.
My note card.
Feet was spelled incorrectly
Twice.
I know because I'm a big fan. I mean, no.
I would know because I spell feet on a daily basis in Google. All right.
Moving on.
So speaking of large feats, thank you so much for clicking through and listening to this episode. We are talking about something that we've wanted to talk about for a while today, which is planets in Star Wars. I know we've talked about before in other episodes where we said like, oh, the best part of Revenge of the Sith was how they went to so many planets. Clone Wars, how you get to see so many different planets. So we've talked about it a little bit, but we haven't really dived in. We haven't dived our feet.
Dived in.
We haven't.
I think it's dived. If I had to guess.
We haven't dived.
We haven't dived.
Or dived.
Anyone else want to take this away?
Drived.
Drived?
Yes. Dribble driv.
Drived across country.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, but we wanted to kind of start off with this sort of EA news.
Big news, gents.
How legitimate is this though?
Right now, it's unnews. It's not. This
is non-news at the moment.
Go ahead.
The reason why I'm giving it so much gravity is because there's serious publications, not just bloggers and people with
who was it?
The rumor mill, you know, PC Gamer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna read you
didn't know
guys.
that.
I'm gonna read you guys the article.
Okay.
PC Gamer is actually one of my favorite. I don't play video games that often, but I do like to read what they have to say about like gaming and distributors and publishers, because they always have like really good insider scoops.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna pull up this email
because I specifically reported on it through the different pages. You know, I go through and I very specifically just put, instead of like news report or something, I try and grab people with that, like in a picture. I put rumor report, and you may have seen it on our podcast page and everything. But I specifically put rumor report because I'm not going to be that guy to just say, "Oh, it's happening. They're getting rid of EA," just because some other people are saying it. But because that's why I say it's sort of unnews right now, because until we start hearing rumblings or another company kind of comes out and it's like, we've been in talks with,
and we would love to have
which I want to. After you read this, I want to talk about who we wish.
And to be fair,
this is perfect because that's exactly the question that PC Gamer proposes their writers.
Really,
they go through and they ask all of their writers, if EA lost the Star Wars license, who should get it next?
Nice. Okay,
so this is perfect. So I want to read a couple of the testimonies. First one, Andy Kelly says, SCS Software, the studio that makes Euro Truck Simulator.
Oh, God.
Hear me out, he says, excuse me. The Star Wars universe is an expansive one, and I think games need to branch out beyond lightsabers and space battles. So I'd love to see SCS make a game about being a space trucker in a galaxy far away. Picture it,
trucker.
piloting a chunky old cargo ship, delivering a load of blue milk from Scarif to Coruscant. Or maybe it'll set on set on one planet with you driving around the deserts of Tatooine, delivering cargo between moisture farms and spaceports.
See, now that would be good as one game, but we're trying to think of like a company to take over everything.
Obviously a joke, yeah.
How about this? Chris Livingston says Introversion Software. I'd give it to Introversion Software. I love Prison Architect. Have you guys ever played or seen Prison Architect? I've played it. It's intricate. I want some kind of deep Star Wars sim management game. A couple of years ago, I played PA's Escape Mode with the Star Wars mod. Escape Mode is just where you're a prisoner in this simulation game trying to get out. It's kind of cartoony and goofy, over the head, like God mode.
Yeah.
I'd love to really plan and build a proper Death Star, manage the staff, keep the construction on schedule, force choke lazy foreman.
Oh my God.
Sick some hovering torture bots on captured rebels. Keep a few more battalions on the forest moon to protect the shield generator. Blow up a few peaceful planets, test my super laser, double check the blueprints to make sure everything's good and there aren't any thermal exhaust ports just below the main port.
If they made a Sims for Star Wars, Megan would finally, my wife would finally,
Your wife
would finally be into it.
Well, I would see a game like this as one of those like point and click like text adventure stories where just people come up to you and are like, "This is happening on the Death Star," and you're like, type. Where is ye flask? I grab ye flask, or
from Strong Man,
right? Something like that.
I'm going to skip forward to a couple more serious ones. Tyler Wilde says Larian Studios. They make Divinity Original Sin. I don't know if you guys have ever... I've never played them, but it's like a dungeon crawler over the head.
It looks really nice.
Double the budget and throw Star Wars junk in, and you've got a beautiful free-form co-op Star Wars RPG. They're comparing it to Divinity.
I don't love it just because it is like that overhead, and I'm not a huge fan of
Me either, but it would be interesting to see... just Star Wars stuff.
Like Diablo type.
Yeah, exactly, like Diablo.
Right.
I'm imagining turn-based combat with force abilities and blasters, a starship to act as your home, and a story that wanders as far away from the films as possible. Must let us play as aliens as well. Why don't more Star Wars games let you play as non-humans? That's a great question in general.
Well, that's obvious. Like RPG, you can't. It's harder to role play as someone who isn't a human. But I mean, I see their purpose.
How about
I see
this
what
one?
they're saying.
Throwback to our very first episode when we talked about video games and specifically Dark Forces.
Hey.
What Tim Clark says, what if we give it to Respawn Entertainment, but they make a new Dark Forces?
Okay.
It would actually be okay. He says, I'd actually be okay with EA keeping it on the proviso that Respawn gets explicit orders to reboot the Dark Forces series, which in this hypothetical corporate wonderland, it has also painlessly acquired the license for, if it does. The finished game will have you playing as an elite stormtrooper captain like Phasma, but less lame, he says, and will feature a needlessly controversial intra-level sequence in which you have to laser loads of... What? You have to laser loads of... I don't even know. This is probably some callback to an inside joke. But anyway, he wants... Dark Forces.
Fill in the blank, the listener, of what that could be.
I don't even know what he was trying to say.
What cool things about lasers.
Dark Forces is a great game, so I would not be opposed to that.
I would.
What?
No, I don't know.
I'll read one more. Jody McGregor. She says Obsidian.
Yes.
I'm giving the lazy answer. Let Obsidian have it. Or at least give it to Bethesda, and then they can rent it out to Obsidian to drive on the weekends. So long as they get to make more games like Knights of the Old Republic 2, only with better combat. And enough time to put a proper ending in. So we can hear, we know
that's
Jody's,
a lazy answer,
priorities.
but that is a good answer.
Oh, man.
It's the obvious one.
Bethesda. Oh, my gosh.
What if
It'd be so buggy, though.
So, I can't, it's like, I'm seeing the loading screens now, but holy crap.
It'd be a huge...
Can you imagine a
huge
Skyrim-like game for Star Wars? That would be amazing.
I really can't, to be honest. I can't imagine that.
Because the issue is...
Well, it'd be like Far Cry, but like...
Because the issue is, like, with Fallout, you're in that specific wasteland. In Skyrim, you're in that specific, Star Wars, they would have to send you to some different planets or whatever, and then you're limiting the size of the maps on
No,
each
you
planet.
could just stay on one planet. Why not?
Because then that's a
Not
big part
exactly
about Star Wars.
yeah.
That's a huge part about
Yeah,
Star
but
Wars.
In
that's
Fall-
Skyrim only stays in one place.
Yes, but Skyrim doesn't have 9 movies about flying around the galaxy that it's based off of.
True.
So,
Here's the thing, though. In Fallout, you do sometimes go to new locations, but that requires loading screens.
yeah.
Now, people in the Fallout universe specifically don't want loading screens, but they fast travel all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah.
once you go somewhere that can, like a ship, like I'm imagining this game. I'm
Yeah.
imagining this Star Wars game. If you were to get in a spaceship, then you just load somewhere new. I don't know. I don't feel like it's that difficult or weird.
It would what he's saying is you wouldn't be able to have gigantic areas in each one because of the capabilities of the game,
Right.
or like
That-
how big it would actually
That's
be.
fine. I accept that.
I mean, and then the issue kind of comes about of let's get away from that because we could talk about Bethesda having a game forever. What about BioWare? What do we think about BioWare being able to?
Well, they did
They're
Knights of the
linked
Republic.
they're linked with EA though.
Yeah,
They're pretty much a sister company.
I know, but
They did a great job.
right, it's the issue of they're not completely EA though.
Well, are we imagining? Us three are imagining a single player storyline
Yeah.
game, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem: EA has specifically said we don't want to do that because we don't think that's what the consumer wants.
Right.
Which is either a lie or they don't understand the consumer.
They don't understand the consumer, obviously.
It's possible, but they also might just be saying that to like gaslight people to be like, oh yeah, well, all I want to play is multiplayer anyway.
Yeah.
When it's not really true.
No,
I don't play multiplayer games very often. I rarely play FIFA online. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'd rather play a story.
Yeah, I play a little bit of multiplayer, but I do like a story better. I think that I might be the minority on that. You and I don't know. Tyler, do you like playing?
I mean, most of my time was playing Fallout.
So that's
I'm
single player.
I'm fine with diving into a game if there's enough to dive into.
Yeah.
But I know people like Charles Vaughn McNeil won't play single player.
Yeah, but that's because he's a special person.
Yeah, he's very special.
But no, so moving on to
I'm fantasizing all the voice actors they would get for this awesome Star Wars single player game.
Man, I just keep
They would
thinking about
basically
it.
get people to work for half of the cost because they would just be like, "Of course, I'll be in a Star Wars game. Are you kidding me?"
right.
At this point,
They could get celebrity actors. It'd be
They
fun.
could get us.
yeah, we could be put in the
sign
game.
up. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, we'll be radio hosts on. We'll be a hologram like
Oh my god.
TV
While
show.
you fly through like we're the radio if you turn
No,
on
if
to
you,
different
yeah, if you like walk
Yeah,
into
we're-
if you walk into a cantina or something, we're like on in the background.
yeah.
We're on mute and they have the subtitles scrolling
Oh my
underneath,
God.
like a bar.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
We're just talking about feet and stuff.
Oh my god.
So the Senator Valorum, I don't think he's ever going to become chancellor because he's talking about feet all the time. And people are into it, but some people don't like it.
I don't like Valorum at all. I think he should be replaced by Palpatine.
Yeah, I go for a vote of no confidence.
Palpatine has never said anything about feet. I trust him.
Palpatine, you know what? I think that Jar Jar Binks, Senator Jar Jar Binks,
Senator Banks.
should grant him the vote of whatever.
Yeah,
emergency powers.
Yes, I everything you just said is very true.
Yes, thank you.
Is there anyone else that we'd want to?
Oh boy, there's so many I could speculate.
What about the people who make the Pokemon games? Just make a Star Wars.
What would you
I wonder
collect?
if-
Huh? What would you collect? Pokemon.
Lightsabers. Pokemon still.
But you had a
You're
lightsaber.
just Luke Skywalker.
Man,
I need to go to the Toffee station to pick up Pokeballs.
You know, it'd be really cool if they did like a darker Star Wars, and they did the people who did Batman,
Arkham.
Arkham.
Oh,
games.
I understand. Rocksteady.
More of
Rocksteady
a
games.
I'm trying to imagine what kind of It would be like you'd be a detective on Coruscant or something, or Narshada.
That would be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
You'd hunt people down.
A detective,
It'd
and
be
then you
very-
would work with Jedi
Yeah, yeah.
every once in
You
a
could do
while.
that.
Yeah.
Like a big case, and there's a Jedi like in a crime scene.
Or you have to hunt down a Jedi who is a rogue or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
And you said dark, so it could be kind of like Blade Runner-ish.
Oh yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be exactly like that.
A lot of night shots, a lot of neon. A lot
Oh,
of,
so
You'd
like
have a floating car you'd have to go around.
for real, maybe even Rockstar because of
some
LA
people
Noir.
have said this. People have said that Rockstar making not a Grand Theft Auto style, but just Rockstar taking it over and using their game engine.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Just the amount of things they're able to do in those.
See, because something like we were talking about with the Fallout and the Skyrim or whatever, if it was on a planet like Coruscant, you would be forgiven not going to many other planets or any planets at all because of how gigantic it is. But that's the issue with something like a Fallout type game is you would have to load an entire huge part of Coruscant, whereas I would see Rockstar being able to do that a little easier.
Yeah.
And run a narrative because I loved LA Noir. And if you were a detective on Coruscant solving murders of like Rhodians and stuff, and like
cool.
this, I think this is connected to spice.
I think it'd be a little bit more difficult to do a Bethesda-like game on Coruscant. Just because it's such an already developed world, it would be like,
Yeah, what are you going to discover?
yeah, what are you going to discover? Oh, that's been there for years? Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it would have to be more of like a stranded on a planet kind of thing, and you're
Yeah.
discovering things.
Or
now,
like
that would be cool.
Yeah.
There were a few missions in Mass Effect where you weren't actually stranded and you weren't actually alone, but you felt that way because you're like, I've never been here before.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what this
Yeah.
this planet has, and you enemies would pop out of nowhere. That kind of thing.
Ooh,
could
what if it
that'd be
was
cool.
on like Korriban or something, and you got trapped on Korriban?
Wait a minute. What if we give Star Wars to Capcom and they make a Resident Evil style horror Star Wars
I
game?
mean,
Oh my God.
I'm down for any genre Star Wars to dive into. I think it would be great. I mean, the look of this Han Solo film. I mean, it just looks great.
It does.
It looks dirty and different and all those type of things. So I'm
I cannot wait for that crying scene. Oh man,
yeah, he's gonna win that Oscar.
win that Oscar for crying.
We've seen a lot of smirks so far in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of smirks
I
and a lot of
love
good. Man, he looks so good. It's
good.
Orlando.
So I believe we're wanting to get to a quiz.
A quiz?
in a second here, but I wanted to address something
Let's address it.
that I've been seeing a lot online, and I've talked about before that I don't want to make this show a harbor on negative things, and this isn't necessarily that, but a lot of people are talking about I see of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi being so disappointed that they had to see their hero look like that. You know what I mean? They're like, man, they really did a disservice to making Luke look so weak. Here's the issue with that.
Wow, I
You
don't
can-
even understand what part of the movie they could be referencing.
Just when he was alone on the island, wanting to die, didn't want anything, all that stuff.
Huh.
The,
Okay.
the issue with that is you can turn on the TV to countless documentaries. You can read books about your heroes who most likely had a drug addiction, divorced, did something bad, and went down like a bad road.
Right.
And the thing about that is they're human. It doesn't matter what Luke Skywalker is. Yes, he's a cartoon character, and we saw him be that cartoon character for 3 movies. But this was him as a human, as someone who went through things, who didn't want to go through them ever again. And guess what? At the end, he saved the day. So I just don't understand why people can't. And it makes me worried for people who have that type of mentality for even a fake person of like, what's your mentality for real people that you look up to? They have to be perfect all the time. They have to do everything 100% right. That's something I just want to address because it's this thing of, I see it as relating to Luke. he overcame something through the film. And the idea that people are having a problem with seeing somebody go through a journey like that, what more could we have seen him do? Just be awesome throughout the entire film? Nothing ever happens to him?
Like a saying.
Right.
Oh, that'd be so boring.
It would be super boring, and also, he's old.
Yeah.
He's super old.
Yeah, it does come down to, unfortunately, like how you view film. Is it a way to escape from reality?
Right.
A way to show stuff that wouldn't happen, so you can, escape from what is, depressing reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can have, something that reflects reality
But that's the thing. I think you got enough of those escapes in the movie.
in Star Wars, because it is,
Yeah.
there's parts of it that are.
You got, and it's got to have the human element,
Right.
And
I
he
do
has
think
to have
so.
an arc.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be boring.
Because guess what?
guys.
He did have an arc. He really did.
Yeah.
I understand that thought process, but saying that you were disappointed in the thing,
Well,
it just doesn't compute with me, because the issue is, how could you be disappointed with somebody who overcame something and inevitably saved the day and the life of everyone?
Here's what I think. I think that the style of movies, has changed a lot. People who are saying this probably are very, very imprinted on his original qualities of him being how he was in the 80s. And if you look at 80s movies, it was all like people were that way.
Yeah.
In the you got Arnold Schwarzenegger's people who just were always awesome, always won, and always said something cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now it's not really like that, and there's different varieties of things. And maybe it's better, maybe it's worse. I don't want to say, but it's different.
Right.
And if you can't view it as that, then I think you're missing the picture. I think if you don't like it, there are movies that they still make that are like that. Michael Bay,
Right.
they make
The
movies.
Expendables.
The Expendables, like people who are invincible, But I think that it is a different type of movie, and it's where filmmaking's going.
And to kind of wrap up this little rant is the thing of, if you put yourself back in time as the prequels coming out before the originals, Yoda is this flipping around super cool laser sword wielding master, and then you see him again in Empire Strikes Back, and the first thing he's doing is stealing food and giggling and playing with R2. And think about, just put yourself there, because that's sort of where Luke was. It was more depressing Luke than Yoda being kind of silly.
Yeah.
But it was the same sort of thing of Yoda just being alone for years and years and years and years and years and going kind of crazy because all of his students died. And I could just see people now being like, what? They ruined Yoda. Like, he was so cool, and now he's just stealing food. And yeah.
Well, what I'll say to that, just to really briefly, is it's kind of flipped, isn't it? Yoda in the prequels then became this flipping acrobatic combat wizard.
Yeah.
And people actually were upset about that.
Right.
So maybe it's a matter of change. People don't like change. And that's a common trope. People don't like change. And they like to, when they exit the movie, have what they imagine happen next happen in their head. And or they like to leave it as is. Like, I liked that the way it was.
Right.
And then sequels come and people think, oh, more of this, we'll get more. We'll get more, and it'll be what I want. And
Yes.
Since and if things change, some people are upset by it. And I think that's the wrong approach.
Right.
And I do think Yoda he fulfilled a different archetype back in the 80s. He was or 70s, I guess. He was the archetype of the wise master, or he wasn't supposed to be like a badass guy.
Yeah.
But later, they were like, oh, well, we'll make him like that. But
Right.
He wasn't meant to do that. He was again fulfilling an archetype. So yeah, I think that's why people were upset again was probably part of that.
Yeah. So before we jump into the quiz, just like that, I just wanted to say, it's like your heroes and people that you look up to, even if they're fake, are allowed to be weak, and you're allowed to see them overcome weaknesses and become stronger. Because like that, at the end of the day, if you just tuned out everything that happened that Luke did after you saw him drinking milk on the shoreline, then you missed out on a lot of personal, strong growth, and the fact that he, like I said, like he was remoting in from work, basically.
Yeah.
So that's all I just wanted to say. I
Agreed.
Just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to say it.
He
okay?
wanted to say it, Calhoun.
All right. Oh, you know what, Johnny? Let's get to this quiz. Explain
Do you
it
want to do a
little
break
bit.
first, or you want to do a quiz right now?
Let's do the freaking quiz. Why the heck?
Let's do a
not?
quiz.
All right. This quiz is, let's say it at the same time, everyone.
Oh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's no
moon.
moon. Oh, wait.
Oh,
yes, it is.
It is. All right, here we go.
All right. Here's
Oh, never
the
mind.
quiz. Oh, can you not do the...
Let's see.
We just need sound.
All right, and welcome to the quiz.
Hey.
That's no moon. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. All right, the way that works is there are 10 questions, each relating to a planet. You have to guess the name of the planet. You have 3 hints to give you towards that. The first hint is if you answer at the first hint, you get 5 points. Next one, 3 points. Last one, 1 point. If you get it wrong at any point, it goes to your opponent, and they can guess it in the same degradation of points.
Okay.
Therefore,
Okay.
whatever.
I'm
Okay.
just going to try and answer.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I shall. I think Tyler went first last time.
All right. This is a remote neutral planet in the Queleli sector. Quelli sector.
That's the only hint you're going to give me?
That's the first hint.
Wait, it's remote. And it's what? It's
a neutral planet.
neutral. Oh, it's remote and neutral in the Queleli.
Quelli. I just think it's
Quelli sector. Remote and neutral. Let's say, I know it.
You
I'm
can
so
get another hint. You'll just get less
points.
points.
Okay, well, give me another hint. Well, I know what it is. I just don't know the name of it.
It's overrun with vegetation, forests, and swamplands.
I don't know the name, but it's Watto's people's home world. They have a king.
Oh.
Okay, I guess not. But I don't know
That's
the name.
wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so go to Tyler. You can only get 3 points if you answer with the current one, but you can get one more.
Felucia.
That is incorrect. All right, now you got it. All right, moving to the next one for Tyler.
Yes.
This planet is part of a binary star system.
Tatooine.
It is Tatooine.
Hey!
Come on.
Oh, man.
That was pretty easy. There are other easier ones. All right, Calhoun.
This is rigged. This is straight rigged.
I can't wait for my next one. This planet is in the Dagobah system.
All right, this one was a planet located within the system of the same name until it was destroyed by a mysterious cataclysm.
All right, before I answer, I have a quick question. Is there 10 questions total, or do we
Total
each
and then
have...
a final,
Okay, great. So,
which is worth 5 points.
so I'm going to put an X through 2 because Tyler got that one. So we're on
Yes,
question 3.
yes.
That is Alderaan.
What did you say?
Alderaan.
Alderaan? That is incorrect. Tyler, can you give me for that one?
That was, give me another hint.
A mysterious
Oh, you're going down to
cataclysm.
3 points. An asteroid field located in subterranean sector of the galaxy's outer rim territories.
What? Wait, what was the first clue?
Was a planet located in the system of the same name until it was destroyed by a mysterious cataclysm.
Is it Polis Massa?
It is Polis Massa.
So what? I get 2?
I want to read the last one of that because it is kind of interesting. Yeah, no, you get 3 points. The Archaeological Research Council of Canada established a base on one asteroid in order to excavate its surface to study the reasons behind the planet's destruction. So that's why they were there. That's interesting. Anyway, okay, who's
I
up?
should have said Krypton.
Krypton. That would have been more correct. All right, is it Tyler's turn?
Yes.
A crucial galactic republic battlefront during the Clone Wars / a planet in the Outer Rim territories within the Galactic Republic.
Oh my gosh. One more clue.
All right, Jedi Master Mace Windu led a battle here during the Clone Wars.
I know that's why. I don't know the name.
Oh, Ryloth.
Incorrect.
Dang.
Or Calhoun. You can get one more and just get 1
Can
point.
you read me the hints again?
A crucial Galactic Republic battlefront during the Clone Wars, a planet in the Outer Rim territories within the Galactic Republic. Jedi Master Mace Windu led a battle here during the Clone Wars.
Oh, man. I know the episodes, and I know what the planet looks like.
Do you want the last clue?
Yes.
It'll only be worth for 1 point, but prior to the Galactic Civil War, the Rebellion briefly used this planet as a location of a base.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know the name.
It's Dantooine.
I was going to say Dantooine.
The base is on Dantooine.
Yeah.
It's on Dantooine.
We found one, but it was abandoned for some time.
Yes. All right.
It's an old code, but it checks out. It's one of my
Tyler?
favorite. Yes.
I love
A
that idea. The
colorful,
old code said it
humid-
checks out.
a colorful, humid jungle planet located in the galaxy's Outer Rim territories.
Clue, please.
Located along the Perlemian trade route, its important strategic location made it a major battleground throughout the Clone Wars.
Oh, man. Colorful vegetation. Oh. One more, please.
Several non-sentient species also inhabited the world, including Gelagrubs, jungle rancors, and tree mus.
Is this Felucia?
It is Felicia.
Okay.
That was 1 point.
1 point.
All right, Calhoun.
All right.
A star system in the Sith Worlds region of the Outer Rim territories, Estran sector.
I need another clue.
The Sith Emperor led his people on a 20-year odyssey that ended in the rediscovery of this planet in 490 BBY.
And this is your favorite planet that you always reference.
What are you talking
I
about?
need to remember its name.
You get the one more, but it'll only be worth 1 point.
Drummond Koss.
It is Drummond Cost.
Hey!
3 points.
3 points.
I would have gotten that wrong. I was going to say Korriban.
All right, your turn, Tyler. Covered in lush forests and small lakes located on a hyperspace route between Chalcedon and Noharion. Nohoron. Noha'an.
George!
All right, one more clue, please.
A popular departure point that offered easy access to trade routes that connected the inner and outer rim.
Dang it. It's it's where Maz Kanata's castle is.
Oh.
Oh, I won't remember.
Can I
It's your
like
turn.
for fun, guess it?
Oh, you can guess it for points
Oh,
and for
okay.
fun.
So if I guess it and I mispronounce it or I get it completely wrong, is it like considered a wrong answer?
It's
Or
a
can I
wrong
just
answer.
keep trying to pronounce
You
it?
can try it, but it won't be worth points.
I want to say it starts with an A, like Akameda or Ameda or Avemeda. Sorry.
No.
No. Okay.
It was Takadana.
Dang it!
Donna.
Dang it! Dang it! Dang it!
The last clue was that it was Maskanata's castle.
Okay.
All right, who's up?
Which
It's
one? That's Calhoun, I believe. Which one are we on? 6, 7?
8.
8.
All right, Calhoun.
Yep.
A forest covered its equator and filled it with dangerous predators.
It's
it was
equator.
filled.
So this is a non-single biome planet.
Non-single biome, correct.
Rare. Oh boy. Let's say Naboo. I don't know. Why not?
It's wrong.
I know.
All right, Tyler. Do you want another clue or you want to guess?
Clue, please.
Filled with jungles, mesas, valleys, and volcanoes, it had an atmosphere breathable for both humans and Twi'leks.
Oh, Ryloth.
It is Ryloth. You should have got the second clue.
How much is that was 2 or 3?
3.
3.
All right, Calhoun.
Yep.
Or is this Tyler?
Oh, it's
It's
Tyler.
me.
Oh man, I only did 9 questions.
That's fine.
That's fine.
The capital planet of this system included. This is the capital planet of this system, but it also included Salonia, Drawl, Tralis, and Talus.
Mandalore. Mandalore.
No. All right, Calhoun.
Wasn't Mandalore. That was going to be my guess. Wow. Okay.
Do you want another one?
Yes, I do want another.
Known as the Elder Brother, it served as the administrative center of its entire sector. You can get one more. It'll definitely give it away.
No. I'm thinking of because Mandalore has a sister planet or a moon or something like that.
It says more than that. It says like four brothers.
Yun Yuzong.
Oh, no,
The Yuzong living planet. I know it's not right. Just wanted to say Yun Yuzong.
The last clue was it was also the birthplace of the smuggler and New Republic General Han Solo.
And
the
Coruscant.
No.
Just kidding.
No, that is incorrect.
Corellian.
Corellia.
Or Cyrillia.
Corellia, which actually I found out is just core Ilia, which is pretty dumb.
Core Ilia?
Because it's in the core worlds.
Lame.
All right, final question for 5 points.
Jeez.
I will give you four Jedi with their birth worlds, and you have to tell me one of them is incorrect. You have to tell me which one's incorrect.
Okay.
And I'll give you an extra point if you can tell me what the correct one is. All right. Mace Windu from Harun Kal. Obi-Wan Kenobi from Stu-Jon. Qui-Gon Jinn from Dantooine. Coyote Mundi from Sierra.
I have to tell you which one's wrong.
Which one's wrong? And you get another point if you can tell me what the actual answer is.
Here is my...
Okay. All right, Tyler got it wrong. Calhoun got it right. Can you tell me what the actual one is?
Do I lose points?
Well, I'll tell you which one it is. You got Qui-Gon Jinn was wrong. He was not born.
He's
in
not from Dantooine.
Not from Dantooine.
He is from... I really don't know, so I'm going to make a guess. He's from Endor.
He's actually a Wookiee. I mean,
He's an Ewok.
Ewok.
Yeah, that's not Kazook, Johnny.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's from Kazook.
No, it's from Coruscant, actually.
Oh, is
Pretty
he?
weird. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. Who won? Who got the most points at the end? You got 5 points.
I got 5 at the end, so I had a total of 8.
10.
Oh,
Heyo.
just scraped by.
Victory music.
All right, we will be right back after the break, and we'll talk about planets and maybe ones that we might want to live on. And I'll try and learn how to talk, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Mike Calhoun, and I'm joined by Johnny and Tyler, and we're here to tell you that we got 2 new social media profiles, one being YouTube, the other being Facebook.
We take a video of every single episode, and you get to see those first on YouTube and the new Facebook page. YouTube is Chatter Squadron. The Facebook page is Chatter Squadron, a Star Wars podcast.
And be sure if we post anything like asking a question or polling, be sure you comment and say something cool because then we might mention you on the podcast.
We've done that a few times in the past.
Oh, we've done that quite a few times.
because some people have some really good things to say.
That's right.
And you can always still follow us on Chatter Squadron, all one word, on Instagram and be mentioned on the show, like screen name Son of Hippies and Matthew Worthrich 24, all commenting on our Instagram. You can be those people.
Be a part of the conversation.
Try and be those people.
Listen to the whole episode. Pay attention to both of those social media profiles because in the future we're going to start bringing you more video content.
And of course, you can always listen to all of our podcasts anywhere you find fine podcasts. That's right, fine podcasts like the one we're getting back to right now, gentlemen.
Let's go.
Anyway, so you're telling... Wait. So Johnny goes and sees Gorillas at a place that Metallica was playing in Quebec, Canada.
Yeah.
You go to Orlando, and what happened?
It just so happened to be WrestleMania weekend, and there was about, I don't know, 30 different wrestling shows going on, and I was like 13 at the time, and I was
wow.
able to go to a bunch of them just because it just so happened to let's look up what's going on down there, because that's something we do for vacations. I always look up, is there a concert or something cool that's happening while we're there, and it was just like, oh, there just so happens to be every wrestling company in the world right now.
We just went into some bistro and some Quebecois, someone behind the desk was like, "Are you here for the festival?" And we were like, "What festival?" And they were like, "The giant one? Why all the Americans are here?"
That person kind of sounds like German.
Oh, yes, yes. But no, and then we went and saw Gorillaz, which is just one guy.
Yes. Well, sometimes.
Well, he collabs. There was a bunch of people came out and sang with him.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool, and they just had the videos going. But
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's what I've always
So
wanted.
wait, did you see Feel Good Inc. live?
no, everyone
probably
kept
did
yelling to do Feel Good Inc., and he didn't do it because probably everyone was yelling.
Did
Yeah,
he do
yeah.
Stylo?
He did Stylo.
Yeah. Good old
I have it on my
Stylo.
phone.
Oh,
I bet they did a lot of new stuff from Andromeda.
They did Andromeda, the song.
Yeah.
And they did...
That album is so good. You can't. Okay, they released this album and it's wonderful, and
Right.
you cannot not play those songs at
Right.
a new show for
Right.
the
Yeah.
Gorillaz. I totally accept that
Right.
because it's so good.
He did that one, and then the Saturn one. Well, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But and then they did the old good ones. They did Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
good stuff. Man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, he was dancing all around, and I was like, "You're just like a regular dude. You're Gorillaz."
Very talented dude.
you are. He is Gorillaz.
That's right. And they had Russell, or the guy who does Russell's part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind
Okay. Hey, speaking of Andromeda, let's talk about freaking planets.
That's
do it.
right. Andromeda's a galaxy.
Hey,
And
Johnny.
it's filled with
Planet,
small moons.
Hey, whatever.
I was gonna say planets.
Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do our standard bring up some stuff about Star Wars and kind of inform you, but also kind of weigh in on where we would want to live, what it might be to live like on these planets. Like, so to give you a good example, I think I'll start off with Ryloth.
Ooh.
So Ryloth was a planet with a liquid core, which led to small amounts of water being on the surface, other than ice and some lakes. This is something interesting that I never knew. One side of the planet always faced the sun, and the other side of the planet was always dark.
Oh.
Yeah. And
It didn't have any rotation.
it was super creative.
Or if it did rotate, it rotated at the same speed.
Yes.
It was
Like our
super
moon.
creative in the sense that the side facing the sun was called the bright lands, and the side not facing the sun was called the night lands.
Oh.
That made me laugh. I had to put it in there. I'm like, oh, wow. The surface of the planet was whipped by winds that could go as fast as 500 kilometers per hour.
What?
Yes.
How do people...
It can't, obviously not the inhabited parts.
It caused them to make a lot of underground civilizations.
Okay.
And then if you saw in Clone Wars, they lived in a lot of stone buildings that probably weren't able to be whipped around as much. But the main problem was the species was heavily abused by the Hutts as slaves to the galaxy, where Twi'lek females became a status symbol in most higher up society, which drove the slave trade even higher as time went on. So living on the planet would be ruled by the whims of the weather and the slavers. So
It sounds like a planet full of prey.
seriously,
Even the dominant species is just prey to other people.
seriously. So living on that planet, I would see it as like that. You would just live on in a hut.
Stone hut.
Right. You just would farm and hope that no one came by to come and steal you away.
It'd be like a bug's life.
Living
in terror.
Wasn't there like the quiz I had? I looked up about it, and then didn't it have like a bunch of jungles around the equator?
Yeah. And then also around the edge of the and that's why I knew that was Ryloth, because he said that, but around the edge of the light part and the dark part was also really weird what would go on like around there. Like there was weird terrain and animals and whatnot.
So the people that lived on that edge just lived in perpetual magic hour.
Yeah.
So it was just always just like this
Twilight.
dim,
Yeah.
weird. It was like it's almost always an eclipse happening.
Right.
That's weird.
There was a book by Salman Rushdie that was same premise. There was a light light side of a planet where it was always light and stuff, and then there was a dark side of the planet, and the prince gets captured and all that jazz. But yeah, the same concept.
Now, I will say, going back to being a kid and coming up with my own Star Wars story, the race of the people that like I made up and everything, they lived on a planet like that always faced the sun in one direction, but it had a big ring of asteroids around it. So the ring would move around, and that would cause like night and day.
Oh,
and that type
incredible!
Interesting. Yeah.
That is very interesting.
of thing. Yeah. Hey.
Quick question about your planet and the one that you and Ryloth.
Ryloth.
The dark side, is it very, very cold?
It didn't really mention that. I was trying to look up what was on the dark side, and I didn't really see much.
Because people didn't
Well, it's
really
probably
live
because it's so
there.
dark.
Get out of here.
my planet when I was a kid, I just said like no one lived there. Is that type of thing.
Yeah.
No one went there.
I wouldn't guess.
But
they
there's
would.
so many minerals that you could probably mine on. You're only using half the planet.
You just have to bring a flashlight.
Question on Ryloth: are there any bodies of water?
Yeah, just small ones. Like I said, it has the liquid core, which who knows what that even
liquid
means.
core?
Right. But
Cool. We do too.
I love
Apparently-
Star Wars, man.
We do
They
too.
crazy stuff like that. No, we don't. Okay, we
yes,
have
we do.
liquid. We have liquid molten iron.
Yes.
all right, Johnny, would you like to
my
talk about one of your planets?
All right, I will. I'll
Hey.
talk about one that has jungles too. I have Felucia, which is
my
one of the ones.
gosh.
And I didn't know we were going for wanting to live here because
I didn't
No, no,
either, but we can talk about that. later.
I'm just talking about
what if you did?
what if you did live? Like, what if you
Yeah.
were born? Because we live in Ohio, and we're kind of stuck here in a way. You know what I mean? But what if you're born on Felucia and you just grew up and that's all you knew, freaking all the time?
Yeah, what if you were on Felucia, which is a colorful, humid jungle planet?
Good transition.
Thank you.
You're getting better at the transitions than I am.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, so it was largely uninhabited except for this native species, Felucians, which are, if you ever play the Force Unleashed games, you meet them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they look very strange. They look like voodoo dolls that are human-sized.
Oh wow!
They're very strange looking. It has a lot of strange species. It is one of the natural places for rancors.
Yep.
And the rancors there are gigantic.
And have tusks.
And
Are they-
Well, that's the male ones have tusks. But
So they're very common.
they're
or are they
very
just-
common.
Oh
yeah.
wow!
And they're terrifying.
That's scary.
Yeah, and you go there in Force Unleashed, and you fight a. Or is that like spoiling the game? It's been around for a long time.
a long,
Anyway, so you go there and you fight Shakti.
Yep.
She went into hiding there. That's one of her many endings. She has lots of
the
different endings.
Jedi that escaped death so many times.
Yes, and you go there and you fight her at a Sarlacc. Apparently, there's a Sarlacc on Felucia. Well, maybe just one. Who knows? But anyway, so it was. It was not like it wasn't of much significance, but there was a plant called Nissalin, which I guess is like penicillin. I was like George Lucas, God. But anyway, so it had healing properties, and so that's why people went there at all, was to like get this plant.
Well, that was something I may have mentioned on the show. I don't know. I know I'd said it to you guys that reading through Thrawn, they talk about calf beans, like coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Dude, I was like, because they were just talking like she likes her calf really hot and I like mine warm, and talking about like they need the energy and like that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is talking about coffee.
Just call it coffee if we're gonna do that. All right. Anyway, so there was battles during the Clone Wars here. There was a major battle, 21 BBY. This is the first one that was that saw Republic forces led by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Plo Koon, and they got rid of some separatists that were there. But later, it was our favorite, Aayla Secura, was leading her troops when Order 66 went down. She got killed on Felucia. If you ever play the game Battlefront and you play on that map, there's Acklay there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means, I didn't see that they were native there, but I guess they are. If it's in the game, then that game's canon. I don't know if that
It's
game's
not canon.
It's not canon.
No.
So maybe maybe Acklay aren't from there, but who knows? Maybe they are. It's a weird planet. An interesting tidbit about it. There was early concept art for Force Awakens that had them going to Felucia.
Oh.
It had the Millennium Falcon landing there with a red lightsaber overlooking the ship. So it was like from the viewpoint of someone with a red lightsaber looking at the Millennium Falcon landing on Felucia. So it would have been there, but then apparently they just changed it to Taquidana.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Living there would be dangerous, in a word. I wouldn't suggest it. I guess if you lived like high in one of their trees or something and didn't go down to the floor or see anything or didn't breathe the air or anything, you might be fine.
What's the dominant species there?
It would probably
Felucians.
the Felucians.
So, and you said they were kind of like, they were humanoid though.
They're humanoid.
About the same height.
I don't know if they really had they had a language, but you couldn't really understand them.
No.
And
Did they seem quote unquote primitive?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Very.
man, that sounds very dangerous for them.
Uh-huh.
Not having any sort of, well, I mean, just being in the early stages of civilization would be horrible.
And they're easily corrupted because there was like there's like some dark side energy there apparently.
Oh, even worse. Wow, this sounds like the worst planet.
This is not the worst planet.
It's
not a great
Are you kidding me?
planet.
There's no toilet paper.
Actually, there's toilet paper everywhere. There's so many leaves.
There's no podcasts.
No podcasts.
They don't even have. Yeah. That sounds awful. They have the dark side.
If it's so awful, what's your planet?
What's my planet?
that transition.
Well, Earth. But the ones I looked up were I kind of actually approached it a different way. I approached it just like the fascination with different types of planets in sci-fi, specifically Star Wars, and the single biome is a trope in a lot of sci-fi. Specifically Star Wars, but not all of them are single biomes. Like everyone says, people are like, "Oh, all the planets are entirely fictitious because they're single biomes." No, Naboo. Naboo is like it's a paradise planet,
right?
But it has different biomes. Granted, we didn't see a desert on it. Granted,
there was sand though.
Yeah, there was a beach.
Yeah,
Anakin hates it,
and we didn't see ice. But we can make assumptions based on the other parts of the planet we saw,
right?
That it's not, And I don't expect that. Where were the Death Star plans being held? The planet
Scarif.
I don't think Scarif
Was
looks
just
like Dubai all over the place.
Just islands.
It was just
it
beautiful
looked-
tropical Bahamas, basically.
It did kind of like when you look at when the Death Star's shooting down at it.
Yeah.
It does look like most of it's covered in water, though. But I don't know how indicative that is.
You were saying that Scarif looked like it
Scarif
most?
looked like that.
Yeah, it could have been.
Here's the thing, though. Any planet has to have poles. It has to have ice. on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, because it can't have a
Unless it's
sun
Tatooine.
source.
Yeah,
on
there's
all-
not
all sides.
Like, what would that have to be? Like 6 suns,
Unless-
all
unless
in
the
every
planets are
single
flat.
direction.
Except Tatooine. Tatooine's just got
Yeah.
more sand.
I kind of think all these are fictitious because planets are just flat, like Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So I found this article that I really liked from inverse.com, and they approached it kind of like National Geographic would. They're like,
Nice.
let's explore the biomes of Earth.
Yeah.
And let's explore what makes their ecosystems work. And like, does it support life? That sort of stuff. And then they applied those rules to Star Wars planets. And granted, some of them are going to be obviously like, yeah, this is impossible, but we accept it.
Right.
Like Hoth. I'll start with Hoth. Hoth, as far as we know, doesn't have liquid water. And if it does, it's running.
You heated it up.
Yeah. It's closer to the core, or
Right.
closer to the mantle, where it's like swirling around and everything's floating on it. But what sort of native creatures did we see there? We saw
Tauntauns.
wampas. We saw. I don't know if tauntauns are actually native.
Yeah.
Maybe
might
they were
be
just
native.
using them as mounts. But we saw wampas. What do wampas eat? Meat, I guess, because
Yeah.
they're trying to. That means it has to have prey. But generally, there's no liquid water. There's no vegetation.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't really be any animals at all. And if it's a
Tauntauns.
tundra everywhere, I'm kind of imagining they put the rebel base on the equator,
Yeah.
where it's the most warm.
I would assume.
So can you imagine what the other parts of that planet look like?
What if it's like they put it in the equivalent of like Greenland?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everywhere else is
like it's
fine.
in the Greenland sweet spot.
Oh, Hoth, I love that place. Oh no, it's terribly cold. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They
So-
put it at the North Pole.
They talked about that and they're like, it's just straight up impossible. Like,
Yeah.
we can assume maybe there's liquid water somewhere, but that's what you basically need. If you want life, you got to have liquid water, unless you're some sort of weird microbe.
Right.
Like
Tatooine.
Wappas.
Tatooine. I'll move on to that. I like Tatooine.
I've been thinking about Tatooine this whole time.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. I wanted to get to it. They say it's an arid desert planet, so they imply that the whole planet is a desert. And I read a really interesting thing as to the scientific explanation behind that. The crate dragon, which was native to Tatooine, went extinct years ago, and it was the dominant
Yeah.
predator on the planet. And it was killed. It was hunted off. It was hunted and killed. And because it couldn't then hunt its own prey, the vegetation it basically was eaten by the different herbivores that were able to just take over the planet. However, it still supports life. It supports life in the form of bantha, which are enormous,
Yeah, I don't know how they eat.
or drink. But maybe they're like elephants and camels, where they can go weeks without water,
Right.
because they
they
happen to live on a planet that doesn't have water.
So basically, the Tuscans are keeping them alive. Anything on Tatooine only exists because people keep them alive.
Basically, yeah, because they're necessary. Kind of like livestock, you would do your best to keep your livelihood alive.
that makes sense,
If
yeah.
they're carrying you around, or if they're what you farm, or something like that. But also moisture farms. Moisture farms are like the number one
Moneymaker.
farm.
Yeah.
I don't want to say agriculture because it's not what it is, but it's basically like people that are laborers.
Yeah.
Basically are moisture farmers.
It sort of seems like moisture farming is an only on the planet necessity. Like, you're not transporting liquid from Tatooine anywhere else, because I think they are
Yeah.
just trying to get water there.
Exactly.
Did you read that Kenobi book?
No.
They talk about how Tatooine water is like really pure and tastes amazing
Really?
because it's like, I don't know, so rare or whatever. But like, I think like they're saying aristocracy would buy Tatooine water. It's like people buying Fiji water because people are like,
Right.
oh, I want fancy water. And it's basically like buying fancy water off world. But on world, I can't see much of I mean, I guess it's a commodity, yeah.
Right.
But I don't know.
Well,
I want to read this paragraph about Tatooine real quick.
go ahead.
Andrew Johnston from the National Air and Space Museum has pointed out that Tatooine, while inhospitable, bears a strong resemblance to Mars.
That's what I was thinking. It's like
Meaning-
pre-Mars.
Exactly. Meaning that its existence is totally plausible. We also know that Luke's uncle, Owen Lars, is a moisture farmer who uses vaporators to turn humidity into H2O, which means that there must be a source of evaporating water somewhere on the planet. We just don't see any evidence of it, and the Dune Sea, as far as we know it, is the only sea on the planet. Oh, that's just a fun little thing they had to say.
Hey.
The takeaway is that Tatooine could exist. The landscape is plausible if there was a significant reservoir of liquid water somewhere supporting some plant life. Maybe there's caves. Like, that would be cool. Like an exploration of because there's places on Earth that we're just like, how does this exist?
Right.
There's livelihoods and stuff.
I wonder if just the poles of Tatooine are melting off, and then
It's very possible. Just like Mars.
They talk about the moisture farming in Kenobi, and it's interesting, but.
That sounds great.
Is it really interesting?
Apparently, they just are very cold. The pylons they put up there everywhere, and it just condensates all the water, condensates onto it, and it just freezes it even more. So like he goes to drink it. I think Kenobi does at one point, and it's like extremely cold, and he like has to double back because
I see.
Because it's really hard to drink, but.
That's cool. That's actually very scientific.
Because that kind of gives me an idea. On one of the ones that I researched was Mandalore. And so Mandalore, we're a planet of the Mandalorian hunters and everything. And like you were saying with the crate dragons, they would constantly fight each other all the time, Mandalore, to the point where they basically destroyed the ecosystem of their planet. It became a barren desert. And as they were getting there, the new Mandalore, who were more pacifists, they were like, all right, well, we're going to build these giant domes so that we can live on this planet so we don't all die, because it was just war ravaged. Everything was turning into basically a desert and being barren. So basically they made these giant domes, and that's where they lived on, because they couldn't breathe on Mandalore. And they couldn't really live on the surface anymore because there was no vegetation. So they made these giant biodomes, and that's where they lived underneath.
Wow.
And that's where they basically had whole civilizations, farming, agriculture, building. They were a lot of engineers on New Mandalore because of them being sort of pacifists.
Oh.
They go to Mandalore.
Is that why they always wear helmets? Because they can't breathe on there?
No, I think those came from ancient times and just kind of went up. You know what I mean?
Like a history thing.
Yeah.
Like a tradition. I was going to say about Mandalore, they go to Mandalore a lot in the Clone Wars. Why have I not noticed any of this sort of thing going on? Or is this a different timeline?
I remember the spheres. I remember them being...
The big domes?
I remember the big domes.
Why don't I recall that?
So here's the thing. If you remember when they go and find Death Watch, that they exist.
I'm not there yet, but yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I just know that we've been to Mandalore a lot.
So you'll just see ships flying towards giant black domes in this white barren landscape.
Wow.
And then they bring them into the dome, and that's where all their civilizations are underneath these giant biodomes.
Thank goodness for those engineers.
Seriously.
Yeah, otherwise the whole planet would go extinct.
Pretty much.
But
not that the Mandalorians wouldn't just go take another planet.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the thing. Inevitably, the peaceful people of Mandalore banished the Mandalorian warmongers to the moon, one of their closest moons, thinking that they died off.
Oh.
And then they reappear at some point. But their closest moon is sort of vegetated and like a normal kind of planet, but apparently it's very hostile.
What was the name
life?
I recall it, but I don't recall its name.
There is a hostile planet, the moon of Onderon.
Okay.
Or the moon of Onderon is called Duxon, and there's a bunch of Mandalorians there.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but I will say with Mandalore, living on there, it reminds me a lot of what Rome would be like if Rome was in the
planet.
future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So would you want to live there?
I would definitely want to live on Mandalore. It would be like living in a house with a hermit roommate in the top, one of the top floor rooms, who would just sometimes, you would think he's dead because he never comes out, but then he arrives and he ruins everything.
He's gonna bring all the war.
He's gonna wage another war with us again. But I would definitely live on Mandalore.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know if I'd live on there just because you couldn't go anywhere besides the dome. That would bother me.
I think it'd be interesting to live there, just to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
domes.
everything that there is to experience is within this dome.
It's space. You could go.
But on the planet.
Like if you're trapped there?
Yeah.
Well, as long as I'm safe. I mean, how have you explored all of Earth?
Yes.
All right, I no more
accept
questions, Your
defeat.
Honor. Yeah.
Yeah, but if Earth was the size of not even a fourth of Ohio,
Yeah.
you would be like, oh, this is kind of.
But it's not. We don't know how much.
Yeah, it's a large city. It would be like living in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if New York was all of it, you'd be like, I don't want to.
Well, there's other domes. You live on New York, then you can go to Chicago, you can go to Boston.
Yeah, you just got to take a
guess.
shuttle.
Shuttle.
Yeah.
And you might as well, you do that anyway. You get in your car, you get in a train, you get in a plane.
I guess. But you couldn't go to like.
You gonna walk?
Well, I would walk. Get all the surroundings in.
Are there any planets you want to walk to that you have, Johnny?
I'm gonna
Yes,
walk.
I have Corellia, and I chose this one because of the new movie coming out.
This is a good idea.
Because one of the one of the reasons it's very famous is because it is the home planet of General John
General John Malkovich.
John Solo.
John Solo. Hey, kid. Hey, kid. Tell me the odds.
Yeah.
I need to know what I'm getting into.
Hey, can you fly this plane for me?
Yeah.
He's just the Bizarro of Han Solo.
John Solo.
I can't stand Wookiees. They annoy me.
I'm actually a little allergic. Can you sit in the other room? Hey, call me John. John Solo.
He's just real nice. Can I help you with that?
Yeah.
Can I carry that for you?
Hey,
I'm not such a bad pilot myself. Oh, okay. You fly it.
I'm not such a bad pilot myself. Oh, really? How long have you been flying?
You're very talented, young man.
Yeah. You know what? Your uncle and aunt would be proud.
Man, I barely got out alive. So weird that Greedo shot first.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame that his blaster backfired and exploded in his hand. I guess I'll just get out of here.
I guess I'll have to inform his family and apologize formally. My name is John Solo.
He's not in any debt at all.
No.
He's got great credit.
No.
Millennium
Jabba.
Falcon's pristine.
Yeah, it's pristine.
Jabba, hey, how's it going?
Hey, bud.
Oh, sure, I can deliver that for you. I'm heading that way towards the Dune Sea. I'll be right there in maybe 30 minutes.
You want me and the human wife to come over for dinner? Okay.
I'll bring a slab of bantha meat.
He's best
You
friends
still-
with the Hutts.
You still have that grill, Jabba? I'll help you with it. Oh my God, John Solo.
That'd be amazing.
Anyway,
Okay, so John Solo's from Corellia.
John Solo and also Wedge Antilles is from there. It was known as it was in the system known as the Five Brothers, which is there's the four other planets: Drawl, Talus, Silonia, and Tralis. But it was called the Eldest Brother or the Eldest. It was just part of the 4 or 5 worlds. It is mostly populated with humans. Mm-hmm. It had a diameter of 11,000 kilometers, in case you wanted to know.
What's that? I just want to know compared to Earth if it was similar.
That's smaller.
Smaller.
I think.
Okay, cool.
I had a temperate climate, standard gravity, moderate hydrosphere. It was warm and sunny most of the time. But it did have long and severe rainstorms.
That was something I do want to bring up. I believe it was Mandalore has a rotation of 366 days.
Oh.
You know, so it's different.
A little bit. Anyway, Corellia had rolling hills, dense forests, lush fields, vast seas, beaches, mountain peaks, crystal swamps. I don't know what that is. As well as an eastern ocean and a western ocean. It also had an urban terrain. It was designated as an industrial world. So this is it's like an Earth. Basically,
Yeah, it sounds like
it's just an Earth.
It's like an Earth
That
if
rained all
everyone
the time.
if everyone on it was a little bit like Han Solo.
Yes, it's Earth basically, but Seattle everywhere.
I was gonna say with the heavy frequent rains, I was gonna say Florida, but Seattle
I was going to
works.
say the rains down in Africa, but that was
Yeah.
that is a song.
What's its oh my gosh, what's its kind of like ecosystem like? Does it have different types of weather? Does it?
Yeah, it's got they said it's mostly sunny and stuff, but it's not like.
Does it not have a seasons? Does it not have seasons?
I don't. It didn't say about anything.
Oh, okay.
I love the idea of crystal swamps.
I don't know what they meant
That
by
made me laugh.
Whatever that means. I feel like sometimes these sci-fi writers just throw 2 words at the board. Crystal. Let's see. No, forest. No.
We need a setting.
Crystal deserts. That doesn't even make sense. Crystal swamps. Sure. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
The Corellians were known for their prowess with starships and like making them and flying them. And so because of that, they became very good at piracy and smuggling.
Of course.
Which meant that they had to develop a very advanced navy. So some of their ships were like some of the best, fighter ships, like the Carillion Corvette that you see in New Hope.
But I will say, John Solo, I'm not a part of any of that pirating stuff.
Yes.
I run a very good movie.
Tight ship.
I run a very good moving company. John Solo Moving.
With my son and daughter.
With my son and daughter, John Jr. and Johnette.
Jeanette.
Johnette Solo. My brother Han, if you've ever heard of him, I'm trying to find him.
I'm trying to find
He tried to join the Imperials 5 years ago, and I haven't seen him since.
And you know what? It's been a good thing.
It's been, you know what?
What? There's always a table. There's always a
spot at the table
spot
for my good brother Han, but not his Wookiee friend because I hate other species.
He told me to move to Alderaan recently. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
You should move to Alderaan.
In one of the games,
be a
I
fun
think
insult.
it's Jedi Academy. Or no, it is it's Jedi Outcast. You go to Corellia, and it is raining quite profusely, and you go on these giant mag lifts they have across the city. And it's like a giant train, but it's like floating in the air. You just go through one of the major cities, and it just looks like very depressing Seattle, but even more rain. So
This is
that's
an old video game.
This is it's older, but yeah, it's a Jedi Outcast. It's a pretty big one. But yeah, that's Corellia for you. Would I want to live there? I went to Seattle once. It wasn't too bad.
Just buy a rain
I
coat.
would want to check out those crystal swamps.
Yeah.
So
if I was gonna move there, you know who I'd call? I'd call John Solo.
I thought that's who you would call.
I'd probably live there. That sounds.
It sounds reasonable. It sounds like rainy Earth.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, this is John Solo.
Oh, hey, John. How's it going? We didn't expect to hear from you.
Hey, I was wondering if you guys were looking to move. We have a great deal moving people to the Crystal Swamps right now.
Oh, would that be on Corellia, though?
Well, of course. It's one of the greatest places on Earth.
Is it? Hey, John. Johnny, I don't think this is. I don't think this guy
Doesn't sound
actually.
legit.
This guy doesn't sound real. Sounds like someone's punking us, man. And I was excited. I thought it was John Solo.
Hey, you just guys got punked.
Oh, man.
You
They
just
got us.
guys got punked.
You just guys got punked. Welcome to Punk, the worst show on television. All right.
I wanted to talk about Coruscant, but
Go for
actually, we have to we got to get that speculation machine going because I don't know actually much about Coruscant's. Besides, it's a huge city.
Looks like it's mostly just sunny there.
It kind of did, yeah. Here's what
I've seen it raining once there,
True.
Yeah.
but I can't imagine.
So there's still weather. So weird.
It's so I don't even know if it's possible.
They have
Here's the thing, though.
artificial lakes.
Yeah, the thing that causes weather is uneven heating. That's what causes weather, and so that means you would expect that from a spherical world.
Yes.
So,
but all planets are flat.
but you also need water in order to have rain, and you need to have water in order to have life.
Here's a public service announcement. Don't get too stuck on the hashtag flat earth is real on Instagram because I was on there for about an hour.
Oh man.
You were, of course, because that's your people.
But I guess it wouldn't really matter if you had an all city planet. Whether
Yeah, and we have to do a lot of speculation as to what kind of technology do they have in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
We don't really see specifics. They gloss over things, which I'm fine with. So we can assume that a planet-wide city is possible with recycling air, recycling water,
Right.
Just getting the basic needs to support an enormous city. And you guys said it goes deep underground.
Super deep.
So that means they must have either mined out the matter that's in it.
Yeah.
They must have imported steel and other alloys from other planets to build the city the way it is. Do I think it's it's kind of not possible, to be honest. You can't sustain. There's probably hundreds of billions of people on that planet. Trillions of people on a single planet.
Yep.
Wow.
I feel at a certain point you would be changing drastically the gravitation of the planet by how much Durasteel they're importing to make giant skyscrapers to keep building onto it more. Like
at one point, it's just something's gonna happen.
It's so insignificant what we do on this planet because of the fact that we're just taking things on this planet and making them into other things. We're not changing the matter.
Importing stuff.
Right. They're importing and building so much that there's levels to the freaking city.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Because at a certain point, it would start gravitating more towards the sun or farther, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much you'd have to do to
If you were to build an entire city, basically just imagine a small rock and then it expands based on the amount of technology that's and infrastructure that's been built on top of it. You'd kind of assume that they would want to control their weather or their climate or both. So they would probably have machines that keep it, it rains sometimes to replenish water supplies. Sometimes it's sunny, or most of the times it's sunny. I'm wondering, since you don't want poles, since you don't want frozen parts,
Right.
if it rotates like a gimbal, like the pattern of an atom, if they can control its rotation, if it rotated like I know no one can see this, my hands moving, but if you look up a gimbal, you'll understand. And if they can control that, maybe they can control their own excuse me. I just swallowed a planet. Weather or their climate and stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about.
I've seen on Earth there's a video you can see of someone like a whole thing, making a cloud, basically.
Oh.
Taking in a huge amount of water and shooting it out into the sky, basically, causing it to rain, but also causing it to start to precipitate.
Yeah.
And basically turn into a cloud. So there could be parts.
Possible, yeah.
There's whole industrial parts of Coruscant, as we saw in Attack of the Clones during the chase. But so there could be parts of the planet where there's just taking in water somehow, some way, shooting it out into the air, causing storm. Because honestly, it needs to have that.
Yeah, it needs. Yeah, it's necessary.
You can't just not have any rain ever. Or anything. You know what I mean?
I'm wondering if the vegetation on Coruscant is restricted to like cave mushrooms and
I don't think there's
whatever plants people have in their houses.
Here's the thing, though. I think it could exist. Because if you can build a base on an asteroid, Polis Massa, then you can build it on anything, really.
Right. But it also just is it a planet anymore? Does it even have an ecosystem? You're just recycling your oxygen.
I don't think it has an ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it's just a giant rock.
Because people have talked about Coruscant in like different things, like the fact that the Jedi Temple was built like on a mountain or whatever. So this is like hundreds of thousands of years probably in the past, that they were building these things, and then it just became like say if
a space base,
right? Say if New York City started to move and it covered all of New York, then all of Pennsylvania, then all of Ohio, and it just kept moving and moving, and then covering the ocean and covering this and covering, and the places over the ocean would suck up water and cause, they just had. That's how it had to have been.
That's an interesting. Yeah, I never really thought about its development. That's it's fake, but it's likely. That's likely.
Wait,
that
it's fake.
What?
Wait, wrestling's fake?
But there's
what?
There's more than one of those citywide planets. They got Terrace is one of them.
Okay.
From that they had
a planet-wide city.
It was a planet-wide city, and did I say citywide planet?
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
What did I say a second ago? You guys got punked.
Yeah, you just guys got.
I don't know
punked.
what's going on anymore, everyone.
But there's other ones too. I think Nar Shaddaa is like that too. But that's like a moon, so that doesn't count.
I still count it because based on what we just said about Coruscant and how it might even be smaller, like its actual.
Oh, I bet you it's
Surface
much smaller
area
than it
is-
looks. Yeah.
Because that's something I love cities, so I would like to live on the good part of Coruscant.
I'd live right by Dax's diner.
Oh yeah. But no, because I would also love to live on Cloud City.
Ooh, yeah.
Wouldn't
that
that
would
be
be-
cool?
Yeah, it's
Living
basically.
on. Well, I guess Bespin, but not really.
You belong with us on the among the clouds.
Yeah,
That's what it
us
is.
among the clouds. So that planet is a gas giant, is it not?
Yeah.
Or a
Yes.
gaseous planet. We don't know if it's a
Bespin.
giant. We just know it's a gaseous planet.
Bespin is a gaseous planet.
And the Cloud City is presumably pretty large.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, from what you can see, yeah,
It looked kind of like a floating space base.
yeah.
I bet it's about the size of maybe Cleveland. Maybe. No, probably bigger than that.
But does that mean there are more cities on Bespin, excuse me?
No, I don't think so. I think that city was the capital, because I remember that they would go to all parts of the city and like mine something on it. Because you go there. I also don't think it's as big as we're thinking, because you go there in Jedi Outcast, if that's canon at all, but it's the only reference I have, that you go there and you start at the very bottom of it. You know how it has that tail?
Yes.
And you go up to the top, and it doesn't take very long. So I was like, I guess it's not
is
as big as you're
interesting.
thinking.
Yeah, I never really thought about what did you read about?
So the official census, there are 520,000 tourists, almost 2 million Ugnaughts, which are those little guys that broke C-3PO.
Yeah.
Almost 400,000 workers in the tourist industry. There are almost 400,000 administrators, 500,000 factory workers, almost 400,000 dock workers and ship maintenance employees, and 1.2 million workers in the service sector.
So it sounds close to about 5-6 million people.
Yeah.
Which is about the size of New York. New
It's
York's
about
big.
half. That's half.
New York is bigger
Yeah.
than that, but
So that's very interesting.
it's like Columbus, or maybe bigger. Obviously bigger than Columbus, but like size wise.
oh, you mean like surface area?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people in that small area.
So
is.
Cloud City consisted of 392 levels, in addition to level 0, a top-side surface level plaza concourse. The level arrangements were as follows. I'm not going to go through
So,
all
and
of them.
we know
All
we-
300.
we kind of know what was going on there. It was like a touristy place because it's beautiful. It's like a cruise ship, but underneath there's a lot of mining.
It is like a
and-
cruise ship, yeah.
I want to. That's what I was going to say.
The structure was 16.2 kilometers in diameter and 17.3 kilometers tall.
As far as the planet, though,
That's
we know
pretty
gaseous planets exist already.
Yes, so that's
just
not
a-
hard to believe at all.
Exactly.
Whether you could suspend something in its atmosphere, that I don't know.
I mean,
It's probably
Star
suspending
Wars.
itself with thrusters.
yeah, I'm
and-
guessing it's equal parts going with the
density of the gas.
man.
the rotation.
When something orbit.
Oh, I see.
Equal parts being somewhat part of the orbit and also propelling itself.
Oh, if it was high enough in the atmosphere.
That's a good question. Could it even? Obviously, Bespin is breathable air because they go out and they're
yes,
breathing.
That is very interesting. Yeah, that
or
was-
there's like something and you can't see it, but it's just like shows that like makes it breathable, like in those areas. But yeah, you go to the concourse in a couple games, and it's just like this giant plaza you can walk across. But yeah, I think it's breathable air.
I would believe so. Wow. Well,
what a strange.
But if that's a good question. Can it go to like space, the whole city?
I don't believe so.
I wouldn't.
I'm guessing it
suspect
was
so.
built in space and then kind of dropped there.
Just dropped.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't make much sense to have it in space anyway, since its docking bays were like exposed.
That's a good point.
They'd exposed docking bays.
Well, it could have been empty in space and then put there. Then crews were sent to
But I
start
didn't
it
see a
up
lot
and
of
get it all.
what did we see? We didn't see a lot of bays that you would pull into that had like some sort of force
He's
field.
talking about like starship bays because they're pretty gigantic.
Oh, I'm seeing it as another ship carrying it, like a tugboat almost.
That'd be a gigantic ship. Got
'Cause
3 Star
I
Destroyers.
just don't see it being built in. I don't know.
I can see it being built in atmosphere. I don't know. Anyway, do you have another planet or do you want me to go to mine?
I have another one that I just want to go very briefly.
Okay.
Endor.
Yeah,
Moon.
Go ahead with that, and then we can wrap it up because I want to talk about something that has to do with Star Wars planets and what they do
Perfect.
that makes them different than any sci-fi. So go ahead.
Perfect, because my thing on Endor is very short. Endor is impossible. Endor is a forest all over.
Right.
There is no
Oh, really?
bodies of water. Yeah.
Okay.
You see the ground floor, and it is ferns, and it is brush, and then there are huge trees. That's it. I think they were trying to emulate what the Earth looked like a long, long time ago when it was just green.
And when it was in a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
But so there's no water?
There's no liquid bodies of water on Endor.
Okay, so it's
according
possible.
to its creators or writers or whatever. The research that these people did. I'll even read their paragraph. Endor is pretty simply a no-go. The forested moon that serves as the home to the Ewoks faces pretty much all the problems as Takodana, which we talked about earlier. Plus, it has coniferous trees, so the oxygen levels would be off the charts year-round.
Yeah, but I think there's water on Takodana.
There is. That's why they say this has all the problems plus more. No water features. Can a forest exist without a lake or a sea? The simple answer is no. Zero loss cycles don't work in nature. But I think it's cool to look at, and it's fun because it's like a throwback to what Earth looked like many, 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 many years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's actually, fun fact, when all of those trees were producing so much oxygen, big bugs were able to survive because of the oxygen levels.
Big bugs.
So if you went to Endor and you just breathed, you'd just like pass out from all the oxygen hitting your brain all at once. So you'd just like fill my lungs with pure oxygen, and
We're
then
gonna get those Imperials.
and now I'm dead. Yeah. So the Ewoks really should have been enormous because of the oxygen levels, and they would have been like insects. Yeah, mammals don't really do well with huge amounts of oxygen.
Can I mention one thing about my other one? Before
Yeah,
I go?
sure.
I had Korriban, which it was Sith homeworld. It was it was basically fine, and the Sith showed up, and they're like, "Oh, we have to be evil," and
We
then
have
Sith,
to be Sith things.
and it
Oh,
says,
great. We have to be evil now.
and then it says Sith magic destroyed the surface, and it became like basically a giant graveyard, and it always was like that. And horrible monsters live there, but they are only alive because of the dark side. Anyway, the reason I thought it was funny is that it was called Korriban. It's in the games you played it as Korriban. It's recently in the Clone Wars. It's called Moraband, and they're like, "Oh, well, why is it called different things?" And they looked into why it was the name change, and it came back to they asked George Lucas, why was it called Moraband? He said, I just like the name better. That's the only reason the name changed.
Good old George.
That's great.
So, yeah, Korriban or Moraband, if you like George's version better.
But no, like that, what I wanted to bring up was with George, he was very diligent in the fact of these specifics don't matter. You know what I mean? This planet is just a desert.
Yep.
This planet's just a forest. You know, they were locations on Earth, but they were Earth like themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of flying a plane, they're like Indiana Jones. You're flying a ship to a different planet. That's all it was supposed to be.
Got crystal swamps.
There's all kinds of crystal swamps, but there is a thing with that's like kind of the difference with Star Trek, because they harbor on a lot of that type of stuff. Even like the newer Star Trek movies doing a lot of stuff with like paradoxes in space and anti-gravity type stuff. And then you can even look super further into Interstellar going into this is slowing down and you'll lose years and like all those things, while done right, are fun. This Star Wars is more so about this is this thing. Don't worry about it.
Accept it.
The gravity is exactly the same for everyone. The air is exactly the same, but the only thing that's different is this is just a city all over. Or this is just they live in domes. Don't worry about it.
Or this is just a desert all over.
Right.
And getting hung up on the little things that could distract you it's just a waste of your time.
Right. And it's
Camino is a water planet. Although that could happen, I feel like.
I feel like that could happen as well.
Probably. Europa exists. So
That's true, but that's all ice. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But Camino too. Just all water, consistently
what I said,
precipitation going into the air, causing rain, more water, just water all the time. But that could happen.
Water
It
all
could,
the time,
yeah.
water all the time, water
All the time, water all the time.
I was doing Eddie Murphy, but yeah.
But sort of what the difference is, and that's the point.
Are you checking
is
for
that,
popcorn?
No, I was checking if our notes were still in. That.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the difference is the fact that there's so many things that you can get hung up on in sci-fi, especially like the Force and those type of things. That it's for Star Wars, you just kind of have to accept it.
Yeah.
That was what it was at the beginning, and that's what it kind of always will be. You just accept it because that's what it is. Unless they use it in a story, there's not going to be that much scientific type stuff. Like unless they go to a place and be like, all right, well, we have to be concerned because this place has a lot of gravity and it works with the story.
Yeah.
They won't just be. You won't see them flying into a new planet and going, well, this planet, it has not a lot of gravity, so we'll be jumping and like that kind of stuff. Unless it goes in with the story, like in the Clone Wars when they go underwater and all the humans and stuff are wearing those tanks. They play in a thing where Padme's tank starts to break and water starts coming into her. Unless it facilitates the story, or has nothing to do with the story at all, it doesn't matter because that's just how Star Wars is.
Yeah. Which is freeing.
It is, yeah.
Agreed. You can tell better stories by not getting hung up on too many details.
That's true.
And like I said, unless that's what your story is all based around. So, but no, let's kind of end this part by saying what planet we would most want to live on, because mine is Coruscant if it is on the surface in a nice place, because there's a lot of bad places to live on Coruscant.
Mine's Naboo. Pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, Naboo is like a paradise, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to...
Actually, Cloud City wouldn't be too bad, but I'd probably rather do Naboo.
I'm going to the beach. I'm going to Scarif.
Scarif. Oh, man, Scarif
I'm going
is
to the
nice.
beach, and I'll
Except
hang out
most
there.
of it gets destroyed. This is
One base.
This is pre that.
I'll go to a different base. One that has far less important plans.
Okay.
Far less
like the
important.
Imperial Toaster plans.
I mean, if you think about it, though, you could just say before that, because I bet after they shot that, it ruined the atmosphere and everything. Like, it became inhabitable.
Well, I think John Solo has a separate. He has another like office there.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
Yeah,
does he?
he has a
He's got a new
Scarif
practice,
office. Yes.
or a
As
new
a
base
dentist.
for his. He's a dentist.
Yeah.
He's a dentist mover.
Yeah, he's trying to learn to be a dentist.
Incredible.
Exactly.
Trying to learn.
He's trying to. That's why he
Self-taught
went.
dentist.
That's why he went to Scarif, so not many people would notice him trying to learn. But yeah,
I like this John Solo guy. He sounds like a stand-up character.
he's really nice. Just don't try and insult Corellia because man,
won't.
he waves that flag with pride,
Yeah.
with all the time.
and he's consistently cooking bantha meat on his grill.
Yep. They're always inviting others over for cookouts, except unless they're Wookiees.
Yeah, no Wookiees.
No Wookiees allowed at his cookouts.
He's got a golden retriever massive.
Golden Retriever massive. It's not that he doesn't. He says that he's allergic to Wookiees, but I think we all know.
Yeah, we all know the problem.
Like we don't serve droids kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's like,
He's like horrible, man.
oh, he's really nice.
He's real nice.
Just don't talk about
don't talk to him about
anything
Wookiees.
different than Corellians. Anyway, we'll be right back, and I don't know what we'll do.
We'll end the show.
Come back and you'll find out what the heck we're gonna
Oh,
do.
that's a mystery.
Ooh.
Hey guys,
What?
I need your help down here.
Johnny, get over here. Tyler says he needs help.
I can't help him. He
What?
fell. He has to work this out himself.
Guys,
What do you need help with?
I need your help by following Chatter Squadron on Instagram at Chatter Squadron, all one word.
Oh, on Instagram?
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Yes, get a splint from my leg. I think,
No,
I think it's broken.
in relations to social media.
I have this bone. I can just give you a new bone.
Yeah, if you could come down and give me this new bone, and also give us a follow on
Facebook.
On
Facebook page. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, you
right
look
now.
like you're
the name of
bleeding
the
out.
Facebook page?
You're getting real pale. I bet we could probably go to iTunes, rate and subscribe to the show.
Should we give it 5 stars?
We should definitely give it 5 stars. That might help Tyler.
Yeah, give it 5 stars and say, put that bone in, Calhoun.
Let's not say that. Don't say put that bone in Calhoun. Because some people might get the wrong idea.
That wasn't for them to say.
I think Tyler's losing it. Johnny, can you come hold his legs together?
Oh, the Facebook page is Chatter Squadron Podcast. Join our discussion there.
You rest now, sweet prince.
I think I'm going.
Let's go to this
sleep.
cave.
This isn't a cave. This is my bathroom. I slipped. I haven't. Banter.
Back and forth. We are friends.
Wit.
Yes. Hey, I've known you guys. Here's something I know about you.
Wit.
Wit.
Here's
Hello.
an inside joke.
No one gets that. Stop doing that. I hate you guys. I'm unsubscribing.
Is this John Solo?
No, John Sol. I don't know how to work that podcast machine. I just listen to the good old radio.
Oh, God.
Look, jumping to hyperspace is as easy as dusting crops, boy. That's a John Solo quote.
I'll teach you. Do you have a Saturday free?
I'll show you.
Lando wanted me to gamble, and I said, no, siree.
I'm saving up for a new blaster.
With no loans.
You think I'm gonna gamble away my kid's college tuition? You're a real son of a.
Whoa. John.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We understand that we went long talking about planets, but listen, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to planets.
So many of them. We didn't even cover that many.
We'll cover them all in our appendix.
Yeah,
Our 12-hour appendix.
Yeah.
Appendix.
If you send us,
I don't have one of those anymore.
whatever I was gonna say is not as funny as that. So let's read some comments.
Banter. So I said on our social media, what planet from Star Wars would you most like to visit? And this is also off of the Instagram. We have Matthew Wolfrich, 24. Let me say something about Matthew.
He's
always
an
says
all-star.
something.
He's a Chatter Squadron all-star.
You
You
get
are
a-
the Smash Mouth All-Star.
You get, hey now, you're an all-star, Matthew. We give you a Chatter Squadron thumb up. You have just
Wait, do it towards the camera.
a Chatter Squadron thumb up. You have just entered a prestigious group of, oh my gosh, Johnny's about to die. A group of, never mind. Let's not get into that. But he said, I would visit Crate because I would want to see the Voltex in person and pilot a sky speeder.
Oh, one of those thingamajigs.
One of
Man, but
those
those
things-
things look so rickety. You could,
I'd do it anyway.
man, you never know if someone's just gonna come out of nowhere and knock you out. And oh, they were in a sky speeder too, and then you run over to them to see if they're okay because you know it's an accident. You got to exchange insurance, and then oh shoot, it's your friend, and then
They
she
kiss
tells
you.
she tells you how much she cares for you, and then you kiss, and then you're like, well, what do I put down as insurance?
Yeah. What year is your car
yeah,
again?
exactly. That's all you wanted to know.
That's something for anybody. If you are the cause of an accident, the first time you see the person, just tell them how much you love them.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, you get into a
This is
wreck.
what we do. What did you say your name was? Todd, this is what we do, Todd. This is how we win. And then you kiss Todd. And then pretend to go pass out.
Yeah.
And then Todd's like, I see your eyes are open. I see
Like
you
looking
peeking.
on the corner of your eyes.
You're winking at him.
Anyway,
Like that kiss, Todd?
There's more where that came from.
there's more where that came from.
Anyway.
I'll fix that bumper if you know what I'm saying. Crazy Supra said Coruscant, a huge city, love big city trips. Muscle emoji.
Yeah.
Gotta get those big city trips.
Muscle trips.
Crazy Supra, you get a Chatter Squadron. Muscle rip. Okay.
I also do. I love big cities too. They're fun to visit.
I one of my favorite trips
Ultimate big city.
was New York. So yeah.
Coruscant would be the ultimate big city. You're right. You're totally right.
J Pantoja, sure. 37.8 said Naboo. So
Well,
he's
yeah,
like you
that's
guys.
what I said. It's the best one.
Yeah, Naboo would be really, really nice. It's it doesn't have a formal military, so you can assume there's no
invade it.
conflict.
You can just invade it.
You can just invade it, and you can have Naboo.
Yeah.
J Pantoja.
J Pantoja, the Pirate King with a 3 said Coruscant.
Well,
See, I'm gonna go.
just one word.
The Pirate King, would you like to rent an apartment with me there? I need a roommate.
Yeah, I bet your rent is ridiculous.
Can you imagine? You can't.
on the surface?
It would be so much.
But I bet your rent down real low is not bad at all.
Probably.
Probably
Hey, check it out. El Giordano Diablo.
Hordano, he likes to go
Oh,
by.
El Giordano. Hey, sir, contact me. We need to go to a wrestling show together. He said Moraband or Korriban or Nashada. He's
Ooh,
I think-
Nashada.
he's searching after Johnny's heart. Is basically
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
said.
I was gonna say Hordano is just he's just real close to George. He's a George fanboy.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I like Narshada.
No, I was just saying that because he listed both of the
Oh, yeah,
spellings.
yeah.
of-
Narshada is just like a criminal version of Coruscant.
a criminal version.
It's just like everyone's a criminal.
Cool.
I like it.
Hey, if everyone's a criminal, then is anyone a criminal?
Yes.
So speaking of that, we didn't touch on this at all ever on the show, and then we'll close up the episode. But do you remember in Rogue One when they meet each other? That one guy who is telling them that they're building a giant space station, and he shoots them in the back.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That's like on like a asteroid, almost like between two things. Do you
Yes.
remember how that looked?
Yeah, that was cool.
Isn't that crazy? That's something I've never seen in Star Wars. Was like,
Yeah, you're
It
right.
looked like something out of Marvel.
it really did, but in a very Star Wars way. Because that's the thing about Star Wars, which they're getting right. And I will put myself out there. If you don't think they're getting it right, that's fine. I think they're getting it right by everything they do looks real and crisp
Yeah.
and grimy and like, because that's something that
Tangitive. It
Right.
feels tangible.
That's something-
Tangible.
that's something that they did in the first one is here's the spacecraft, but there's something you can hit and
Yep.
feel and see the texture of.
Yeah.
No, I think the only thing that bugged me about that space station, I guess it would be called, is that there was a bunch of like asteroids around it floating around. I was like, what if just one of them ran into that bridge section?
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe they
but
have, like shields or something.
Yeah.
it's funny that you bring that up. It reminded me of Omega from Mass Effect.
Yes, it did.
Just an asteroid.
Oh, yeah.
Reminded me a ton
Space
of that.
station, and I like it. I like the aesthetic as well. And
Or-
you're right, it looks gorgeous.
In the first, is it the first or the second? Oh, it might be the second. Paragus 3 or something from Knights of the Republic. It's just a giant space station mining facility built into an asteroid. Never mind.
Oh. Yeah, I believe I remember that. Holy Lord, it's empty.
Paragus. Yeah.
I just dropped. I was so thrown off by asteroid talk. Got so excited, I threw my mug.
He's insane.
He just has anger problems. Help us, please.
I've been alone my whole life. This doesn't have anything to do with his anger problems.
What?
Okay, all right.
Did you even say words at the end there? Yeah. That's any problems. Okay. So, hey guys, here's something I want to start putting out there into our community of listeners. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening with us.
It's a long episode.
It's a long episode, but it's fun, and we hope that you enjoy talking with us, basically. You're a part of the conversation.
Yeah, we want to hear more from you guys. If you say Naboo is your favorite planet to live on, tell us why.
Tell us why. Message us on Instagram anytime, and I'll talk to you about Star Wars. I don't care.
Yeah.
But something that I really want you guys to do is share an episode, your favorite episode so far, with somebody. Anybody that you know might like it, share it around. And if somebody is listening to this and they got the episode shared to us, send us a message and we'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah, tell us who sent you, and we'll shout them out and we'll say thanks.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
And we may even give you a thumb up. I don't know.
We expended our thumb up budget.
Yes.
This episode for a couple episodes.
Yes.
So we might stretch. We might take out a thumb up loan.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't talk about that with John. John Solo
He doesn't.
hates those
John
loans.
Solo doesn't
Not
take
like
loans.
loans or
Yeah.
gambling.
He says that's my money, and I'll save it and spend it how I choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, I'm going to go give John a call because
Okay, great.
I'm kind of hungry, and I know he was looking to cut up a good old bantha that he shot in the head.
yeah, he's-
Oh my
earlier
gosh.
this morning.
He's a good grill master.
Yes, he is. All right. So we will talk to you guys soon, and as always, may the force be with you. I guess
Always.
See ya.
maybe.